Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about another new feature coming in the War Within, the new expansion set for next year, that I'm almost as excited about as Warbands, and that is Delves. And so in this video we're going to talk about what Delves are and why I'm so excited about them, and kind of break them down a little bit for you. So Delves, as the name kind of suggests, are kind of like dungeons, and they kind of function in that same way. In many ways, except for it's not made for 5-man content. It's not made for tank, healer, DPS, and stuff like that, right? So let's break down what they have to say here. This is the Wowhead article. The screen caps are mostly from the video presentation done at BlizzCon. So delves can be completed in groups of 1 to 4 players and are role agnostic. So delves are soloable content. So the best thing to compare delves to, in my opinion, is delves can be compared to, and don't wait till I'm done before you judge, Torghast, Island Expeditions, Visions of N'Zoth, and a little bit Deaths of Chromie if you go far enough back. These solo content things that they've been pushing out and making over the years, and one major difference, however, right? These are not going to be mandatory. There's not going to be a delve currency that you have to get to progress your character. So you don't have to participate in delves, just like you don't have to do world bosses, or you don't have to do the weekly quest or whatever. You don't have to do Zeralek Cavern stuff, especially like once you got enough of your splintered whatever spark things. You don't have to do delves, okay? This is completely optional content, but it is going to be considered endgame content along with the other more traditional endgame contents of raiding, Mythic Plus, and rated PvP. So this is going to be a fourth form of endgame content, and one PvP is somewhat soloable, especially with solo queue now, but one that is a solo PvE experience if you choose it to be, or you can go within 4 friends, or 3 friends, I mean. And role agnostic, meaning you don't need a tank, you don't need a healer, you can go in as 4 DPS if you like, and have fun with that. You can complete them with any specializations, no tanks and healers, that's what I just said. Delves will be included in seasonal content, giving players rewards for seasons such as mounts, pets, achievements. In addition to this, seasonal NPCs will help the delving, like Bronzebeard, which will be season 1. Okay, so let's expand on this. So just like I said, delves are going to be considered one of those major pillars going forward. And these are something that they plan to keep in the game, probably in some capacity, going forward even, right? So they're not just going to be one expansion feature. They might change the name, possibly, probably not, but they might change a little bit how they work and stuff like that. But they want this to be a pillar of the game to where there's always something for a solo player to do and still be able to get rewards in a PvE sense. So with the whole, so just like the other ones, you'll have a mount. So there'll probably be some achievement similar to like an AOTC mount or something like that, right? Or your Mythic Keymaster mount or whatever, KSM, whatever it's called. Get that mount, and then of course there'll be achievements to go with that, pets to go with that, probably other cosmetics as well. I imagine they're kind of going to fill that role as like Island Expeditions, as far as having other cosmetic stuff or stuff you can farm as well if you want to. Although, like they said, there's going to be they're not, at least as of now, not planning on having player power tied behind this. The seasonal NPCs are very interesting as well. So the seasonal NPCs are going to be basically your progression system in this, right? So if you remember Torghast, eventually we got talents in Torghast, right? And that's when people actually kind of liked it a little bit more, and you got to fill out those talents. Same thing with Visions of N'Zoth. We had talents, and then by the end you finished up your talents, you were a lot more powerful. And then in Islands, we did not have that. In Deaths of Chromie, before Islands, we actually did have talents as well. So basically, for Season 1, Bran is going to be our ally. As we do more delves, accomplish more things, fight off more things, whatever, Bran is going to be more and more helpful to us. He's going to provide us with more power, more rewards, more this, more that. We're going to be able to make our Bran much stronger by basically completing out his talent tree, right? And he's like our NPC helper, and he's going to, make delves more rewarding. Now, of course, we talked about warbands in the last video. Your progression system on Bran, and then whoever the next, like Harrison Jones could be one, for just another example, right? They could make someone funny like Leroy Jenkins be your NPC in one of them. But as the progression, so your talent system actually carries over to your alts in your warband as well. So you don't have to worry about that. It's actually something you can do on your main, and then your alts with less gear can go in and benefit from that progression being earned already. There's a massive haul of treasures available at the end of each vault, which require you to complete objectives such as defeating a boss or completing puzzles. So I thought this was an interesting thing as well. It's not only just a boss rush or whatever like that. There's also going to be some sort of puzzles. There are puzzles in Torghast too. I imagine they are going to be generally simple, although this content does scale up a little bit in difficulty, so maybe some of the puzzles will be more difficult as well. And I don't think it's on here at all, but the loot, the max level of the delve loot. Right now, they're picturing the max delve loot being kind of equal to the heroic raid loot, which is really good. I think that's like 10 to 15, plus 10 to 15 in keys, and so it's like it's right below that mythic level, right below that top level, and that makes sense, right? It is solo content. No matter what, no matter how hard the solo content is, it's simply just harder to get 19 other people to play with at the same time, and so it's always going to make more sense, for example, for the mythic raid to have kind of like the hardest, most powerful stuff, just because it's the hardest thing to do. Some people might disagree with that, but that's the way I feel about it. But I do enjoy that this soloable content is finally getting a little bit of chance to shine there. With another feature, so with this, they are removing the PvP row from the Great Vault. You can kind of see that here on the video. And PvP players, just how they said in this video, you will instead of having to worry about maybe proccing your vault from, or proccing something from your vault, they're instead just going to give you more conquest and allow you to gear up faster that way, to where you're not worried about getting something from your vault or not, because a lot of people feel like, especially PvP players, feel like they get RNG, you know, just kind of screwed over or whatever, and like some people got all their stuff that they needed from their vault and they're just still stuck there buying conquest. So instead of that, you're going to have extra conquest essentially, and try to gear up people as if they had good luck on their vault basically. So you should gear up as a PvP player similar to if you had good luck on your vault, but no longer have to worry about the vault. So what's replacing it is world, and so this is going to really heavily lean on delves for this, but I imagine some other things will be added to the world thing, such as world boss, right? I'm like, if I had to guess, I'd be like 90% sure that they'll put world boss on here as well, and maybe some, like, if maybe they'll put in some, since they're trying to like think of it this way, maybe they'll put like some super hard world quests in the game or something like that, that if you complete count towards this, or maybe just in one of the events. I don't know exactly how they're going to do that, because the events are going to be easy if you do them with enough people. But we'll see how they decide what is considered world content. But we know that the delves will be, and so you will be able to get a vault from doing your delves as well, which again is going to reward up to heroic level loot. Now, it's not going to reward raid loot. You're not going to get the raid trinkets, I don't imagine, but you might have special cool little things as well. Of course, the power levels are going to probably be tuned in a way that they aren't the absolute strongest in the game, but you never know what could slip through the cracks when it comes to that. So yeah, delves I'm super excited about. For me personally, it's soloable content I can do on my alts. By having this system, I normally have my main, who is geared to the max, 100% of the best gear. You know, whatever the best gear is, that's usually what my main character has. However, my alts are usually lagging quite far behind. You know, basically a tier behind at all times. 20 plus eye levels in many cases behind at all times. And with this, it'll actually just be one section below. You know, I'm assuming I'm skilled enough to do the delves at the highest level, and therefore all my characters should be able to have heroic level gear or whatever. It's also really cool for me personally. I have a 6-year-old son, and he plays World of Warcraft sometimes, but he doesn't like doing dungeons. He doesn't like being in the group with 3 other people. Sometimes people have said something mean to him, like he needs to hurry up or do more damage, and, you know, somewhat understandable, but we're just doing really low level content. I'm not bringing him into Mythic Plus or anything like that. I'm talking like time walking and stuff along those lines, but he doesn't like that. So we could actually go into a delve as just the 2 of us and complete stuff, and he can actually get really good loot from that. and that'll be really, really fun for us. And you know, if you have anybody else like that in your life, it doesn't have to be a child. It could be a friend that's really doesn't like the pressure of being in a group and therefore doesn't get the content, and that, or that could just be you. You could be the solo player who doesn't like the pressure of grouping up for content, and now you have an avenue to experience like the end game type rewards, even if that's not exactly the same. You have that experience now, and I think this is basically something that I've been calling for. Not this exact thing, of course, but this pathing I've been calling for. Many other people have been calling for in the community that actually think about casual players, and I think this is just a massive W, especially if they stick with what their current plans are with it. I hope that the loot remains high end at heroic raid level. I'd hope they don't nerf that down to like normal or something like that, because that's what they've done in the past. Is they always like oh no, solo players can't have this good of stuff. So I hope that they do not do that, and they stick with this. And I think it's going to be just a great addition to the game, and addition to all those solo players out there, casual players out there who, you know, want to do stuff in the game but don't really have anything for them to do. So, and hopefully that's enjoyable, right? That's going to be the big thing too. Hopefully it's somewhat enjoyable to do. I know I enjoy island expeditions for the most part. I just didn't enjoy doing them for artifact power. So I imagine I'll probably enjoy the delves overall, and I'll definitely enjoy gearing up my alts. I can guarantee you that, at least coming from me. So that's it for this one, guys. Please let me know how you feel about delves going forward. And as always, please subscribe to the channel because it helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.